This is a video tutorial on how to create a digital interactive sketchbook. I'm going to be working on my primary grades, which would be kindergarten, first, and second. I'm going to start in PowerPoint first. The reason that I'm doing that is because this will be my template. Anything that I don't want the students to edit will go in the PowerPoint. Anything like videos and links and tabs, those will all go into the Google Slides. Those are things that students will be able to access and manipulate. So to start, the first thing I want to do is to create a background. So I'm going to come over and insert, and I've created on my desktop a resource page of different things that I might use during this process. So I'm going to choose this one, and I've lightened it to about 47% because I don't want it to be so overwhelming. So now I want to add the sketchbook cover for the first page, and I have a file that I've already downloaded with the template. So I will include that in the comments below. So I'm going to copy and paste and then come over to my PowerPoint and paste that in. Now I'm going to keep those two things together because I want to make this a little bit smaller. It's a little wider than I wanted it to be. And when I get it to the size I want, I can let go. Now, I may want to change the color of the front of the sketchbook as well. So I come over here and change the color through my format. And again, it can be whatever color you want it to be. Since I'm going to be using this sketchbook for the primary grades, I need to add some tabs. So I'm just gonna go into shapes, and you can make your tabs look however you want to. And I'm just gonna line them up on the edge. So I'm gonna do one for introduction. So this will give students the basics of the interactive sketchbook so they know what to expect from it. And then one for kindergarten, one for first grade, and one for second grade. Now I teach kindergarten or pre-K as well, but since pre-K and kindergarten are essentially the same, I will just leave it with pre-K and kindergarten being combined. And I can change the color of those as well. So something like that. Okay, so now I'm going to go to the next page. Before I move on to that, my background, I'm going to go back and I'm going to make sure that I apply it to all. So that way every slide that I bring up will have that same style to it. All right, so I'm going to come back into my PowerPoint. Now you have a choice. You can either use the single page or you can do double page. It's totally and completely up to what you want to do. So again, I'm going to copy that and paste it into my PowerPoint presentation. Okay, just again, adjust the size to what you would want. Now, I again want to have my tabs. So I'm going to come back over here, and I know that none of that is centered. I will fix that later. But I'm going to have those tabs throughout the entire sketchbook. Another really helpful tip to save you some time so you don't have to keep redoing each page is to duplicate the slide before it, and this will put your sketchbook template on every page. So just do a couple, that way, I mean, you know you're going to have at least 6 pages. So just make a couple, and then when you're to the bottom and you know you're going to add more, just duplicate it before you start adding your information. So I've done 2 of these sketchbooks for middle school and for elementary, so I'm not going to try and reinvent the wheel. So I'm going to go back to my elementary sketchbook, and I'm going to copy all of the things that I want on here, and I'm going to put it in my primary grades. And I can make adjustments because that book is going to look a little different. Okay, so I'm going to come up and I'm going to go to Insert, Pictures. I'm going to look for my kindergarten syllabus. And I've turned the PDF file into a image file. I'm going to crop that a little bit so it fits on the page a little nicer. And again, you can add another image down here if you want to, another Bitmoji, whatever you want to do. And I'm also going to add a, since kindergarten is just the elements, I just went ahead and got a poster of the, of just the elements, since that's what we're focusing on with them. Okay, now I am going to stop here. I'm going to save my work. And this part is how I'm going to take the PowerPoint and move it over to Google Slides. You would be able to add on to this later on for your lessons. I'm going to add my first grade, my second grade information. But again, I'm going to stop right here and I'm going to show you how to put this into Google Slides. Before I do that, I'm going to all right, so I'm going to save it again. I'm going to come over to File, and I'm going to export. And when I export it, I'm going to change the file type. I'm going to come over, and it's going to say image file types. I'm going to do the PNG. I'm going to click on that. And I'm going to put this on my desktop again, so that way I have it. And this is going to create a folder on your desktop that will have all of the images that all of the slides that you've just created. So I'm going to save that. I'm going to save all slides. Okay, now I'm going to come over to Google Slides. Before I start with how to put things in Google Slides, I wanted to show you that the PowerPoint presentation was saved as images on my desktop. So I open this file and you'll see that the 3 slides that I made are images. So now I'm going to come into my Google Slides. I'm using the personal Google Slides, my personal account, just because I've run into some glitches. So if you find that you're having issues, either do it in Firefox or create a personal Gmail account. Okay, so the first thing that I want to do is get rid of my boxes, and I'm going to right click onto my slide and I'm going to change the background. And I'm going to choose an image. I'm going to go to my file that was on my desktop. And I'm going to find my first slide and I'm going to upload that. Now, once I'm in Present, students can't change that at all. It's permanent. It's like a template. This is where I would add my links. So I'm going to insert a text box. If you want to change the font, you can go up to here and change it. And we'll rotate it. Make that a little bigger too. Now, what I can do is, the way that I make a link to this is to link it to another slide. But before I do that, I have to make another slide. So I'm going to come up, I'm going to put insert, actually do Control M, and that'll give you your next slide. I'm going to come back to right click and change background. I'm going to go back to my file, slide 2, and it's done. Control M for a new slide. I'm just going to apply my layout so I don't have to keep deleting things. Right click, change background, choose image. It's really that simple. Now, since I have my other slides, when I go to introduction to link it, I'm going to come up to insert link, and I'm going to make it so that it goes to slide number 2, because that's where my introduction is, and apply. Let's add kindergarten. And now I can link that page to the the third slide. There's a couple of other things I want to show you before I finish this tutorial. The links here that are on the tabs, if you copy those and paste them onto the other slides, the link will stay. It'll follow right with it, so you don't have to continue to link it every single time. So that's really helpful. And I wanted to show you how to insert a video. We had talked about doing visual interpretations of the elements such as line and shape. So here I have a video of Wyatt, my son Wyatt, doing the definition of line. Any videos that you want to add, you're going to need to upload to your Google Drive. Otherwise, if it's something on YouTube, you can always link it to the YouTube or Vimeo. I believe you could just do the link. And to check to make sure that this is working, you come over into Present.
One-dimensional mark that connects 2 points.
So, like I said, that's any videos that you want to add. So if you want to do a demonstration here, you can do that. In this last slide, I have a frame for students to add their own work. Now, in order for them to know that that's what you need them to do, I put in a text box so that they know that's where they're going to link that information. I hope that this was helpful. Please leave any information, like feedback, responses, if you have any questions, in the comments below, or you can email me.